Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read you an article in Newsweek. Joe's approval rating sinks below Donald Trump's. That was in May 20th. Now we have Yahoo. Among all Americans, Trump, 43%, now has a higher personal favorability rating than mashed potato brains Joe at 40%. Meanwhile, nearly two-thirds of independents have an unfavorable opinion of Joe, and just 28% said they would vote for him over Trump. And more people have stated, 44% to 42%, that they would vote for Trump over the current catastrophe we have in the Oval Office. They didn't like Trump's personality. They thought he was mean. He was a menace to democracy. Their sensibilities, they infused their wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberal sensibilities into discussions about politics and national security. Okay? They accused Trump of doing something he never did, of doing numerous things that he never did. Every single article, almost every single article about Trump followed the same rubric. He's mean. He's a horrible human being. He is accused of a lot of things, and the standard of suspicion towards Trump is very different from the standard of suspicion towards Hillary or Hunter or Joe or anyone else on the Democratic side. Even Wikipedia, when you read Wikipedia and it's a controversy pertaining to Trump, it's, well, lots of smart people say this, and this was reported that Trump had allegedly committed this, and everyone's opinion is viewed as evidence to further an accusation against Trump and his character or something that he did that's possibly criminal. With Hunter or Joe or Hillary or anyone on the left, any suspicion, any coherent argument or claim made against them by experts or by anyone who says, hey, why is money flowing into a foundation or into Hunter's businesses? And why are the people or corporations receiving beneficial treatment? And why can't people make the link? Because every time you try to link money that a Democrat obtains, whether it's Hunter or Joe or Hillary and Bill, whenever you try to link millions upon millions of dollars flowing into a foundation or into a business or into the hands of these Democrats, making the correlation that the money was given for a specific favor, when beneficial treatment is always taking place one way or another, or the allure or the promise one day of beneficial treatment, you can't make that claim. The standard of suspicion is completely obliterated. There is no standard of suspicion. You cannot be suspicious of Democrats. You can only be suspicious of Trump. Trump is capable of anything. When Joe says he's going to withhold $1 billion, well, lots of smart people said that had nothing to do with his son working for an energy corporation in a country that's being invaded right now under Biden's watch. It has nothing to do. Don't you know you can't prove anything? 20% of U.S. uranium capacity not vetoed by President Obama. The sale went through. Guess who owned it at the end of the day? And, you can't prove it. But with Trump, a dossier was purchased by his direct political rivals, and that's enough. That's enough. He's capable of anything. Washington Post, New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, New Yorker, New York Magazine, Esquire, Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, Time Magazine, Mother Jones, The Nation, Daily Beast, Los Angeles Times. That's just a tiny fraction of all the publications out there that have it in for Trump. And not one supporter of Trump works at those publications. And then you wonder, how on earth is it possible, when you have all of media against Orange Julius Caesar, that he has higher favorability ratings than mashed potato brains? Well, I'll tell you exactly why. Hit subscribe to this channel and hit subscribe to the stock market crash channel below and the Bitcoin crash channel to 10,000 or lower. I'm doing segments on those every single day. I'm growing those channels, and I predicted. Go to the description section if you want to know why. If you want to know why, Donald Trump, in addition to the great foreign policy he had that was opposed by the Lincoln Project, which you know makes it a great foreign policy, but if you want to know why Trump has higher favorability ratings than mashed potato, go to the description section in every one of my segments, ladies and gentlemen. The first segment that you see is me in early September of 2021 predicting and explaining to the world that we're going to have a devastating stock market crash and the economy is going to collapse. Very few people, if anyone, on YouTube was talking about it. Nobody in politics was talking about it, and very few people in the financial world were talking about this, like on YouTube. There were actually billionaires. Well, there was Michael Burry, Jeremy Grantham, okay, and, you know, somebody who's not significant within the pantheon of finance, me. But there on a YouTube channel, not many people have predicted the stock market crash. I did. And it's only going to get worse. We're in a recession. Tell me how we get out of the recession. Diesel prices continue to go up. Our economy is going to continue to collapse. And inflation will continue to rise. And I predicted all of this, and I said crypto would crash. Also in September of 2021, the receipts are below in the description. If you say, well, why do you keep bringing it up? I keep bringing it up because these are my channels. I'm trying to grow them. My goodness, for God's sake. At least tell your friends or family when you're talking to people about the economy, say, hey, look, there's somebody on a YouTube called H.A. Goodman, and he predicted all of this, and I was published in the Federalist predicting all of this. And that article's below in the description and pinned comment. The economy is collapsing. And I want a Hillary Trump 2024 or Hillary Clinton DeSantis 2024, Hillary Clinton Trump 2024. We're still living in 2016, but it's now worse in terms of the economy, exponentially worse. Now, and a whole lot of other problems we have. Democrats have tried to infuse and embed liberal sensibilities within every element of life in our society and our world. Jimmy Kimmel, late night, Saturday Night Live. We know you have loyalists at the Federal Bureau of Investigation like Comey and Strzok and McCabe, and they defend the Democratic Party. We know that. Peter Strzok said, we'll stop Trump in his text message. It's right there. Now, could you imagine if the reverse were true? A bureau agent, top agent saying we'll stop Hillary, or that Rudy Giuliani purchasing a dossier against Joe or Hillary. We couldn't even talk about the actual emails from Hunter. So you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, how does he have a higher favorability rating? The economy is in free fall. Inflation is at 8 to 9%. It's probably going to go above 9%, people. And I told you this. Watch the segment below. There's 3 segments where I predict, and there's a playlist on each of my channels. H.A. Goodman, the stock market crash channel, and the Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or lower channel. And that's happening too, unfortunately. Watch the playlist of 35, 36 segments throughout the 8 months. I've been telling everybody, warning everybody that everything's going to collapse. Diesel fuel is close to $6 a gallon. If it gets to $7 or $8 a gallon, transportation will slowly grind to a halt, and you'll have a whole lot of small trucking companies that go under, there will be empty shelves. And we're heading towards that. And Mashed Potato Brains Joe sent a letter to oil companies as if it's their fault. It's not the oil company's fault. I have within the description also the National Association of Manufacturers, the Business Roundtable, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, oil and gas companies, and 14 states. Well, oil and gas companies and oil and gas associations in the 14 states were suing this president in 2021, stating in the lawsuits his policies were going to cause high energy prices, and they did. And now he blames the oil companies. You can say whatever you like about oil companies. They might not be the most perfect industry in the world, for sure. But even Elon Musk says, hey, you know what? We can't transform the economy overnight into renewables. It's only 10% of the U.S. economy runs on, 90% runs on diesel fuel and oil and gas. mainly diesel fuel in terms of transportation for trucks, ships, barges, trains, everything that transports goods or services. Anyway, hits and manufacturing facilities, mining, all run on diesel engines. Give me your thoughts below. It's only going to get worse. And that's the main reason why mashed potato has a lower favorability rating than Trump. That's with think about that. If media was just like neutral, fair and neutral, like the DNC primary that wasn't when Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace, and for other DNC officials, then they blamed, of course, the Kremlin for that. But imagine if things were just fair and, like, you know, liberal politics didn't infuse itself within every element of American society. You would have Trump at a much higher favorability rating. People liked his personality before 2015 and 2016. He had The Apprentice. All the liberals who can't stand Trump, they were watching The Apprentice. And then 2015, they said, uh-oh, he's a political obstacle. Then they started, complaining about him. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. This is amazing. Something amazing. Give me your thoughts. Thank you. And I'll be back in about a couple of hours on this channel. And I have segments on the stock market crash channel and Bitcoin crash channel below. Definitely subscribe there and watch those segments.